Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next session of From Nothing, Kaelan's story. And we are going to pick up the next morning after you have assembled your team of students for the fall festival. It is the following morning, and I'd like you to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
This is, alright. Okay, 15.
Okay. You don't awaken easily today. As you rest, what was at first a pleasant night of sleep changes, and you find yourself in a dream. You're in the woods. Not the Skywood or the Allen Woods near Ferrum. You're on Phobos. And these trees, nestled almost in swampland, it's dense and green and warm. And almost inevitably, as you're out in these trees, you feel sweat dripping down the small of your back. The smell of rich undergrowth and vegetation that has long since begun to rot is almost permanent here. And while you walk through the forest, you are alone. It is comfortable territory and one that you know well. You've been through here before. You know the game trails, you know the pathways that have been made by other people before you. And you know the game trails that you have traveled before, and they are just as you remember. The same brushed over leaves and grass that almost make a highway through the forest. Only this time, you catch sight of movement. How do you respond?
Think I would crouch down, get low to where I can just see above the plants and bushes along the ground, the high grass, or, well, wouldn't be grass in a jungle, but just kind of crouch down and make myself hard to see
Okay.
and try to listen and look for where that movement and what that movement was.
As you are looking, the movement resolves itself, and moving out into the massive open game trail in front of you is a bear. A very large bear. It's a black bear, which seems a little out of place here. You've never seen a black bear in these woods. In fact, before you'd been to the Merigard Academy, you weren't really sure what a black bear looked like. This black bear is larger than any bear you've ever seen. And behind its fur, blue light glows and trails and traces across its flesh, as if inscriptions, a webwork of lines pass across its musculature, shining from beneath the fur, making it glow almost iridescently where those lines are. The bear doesn't seem to notice you as it makes its way across the trails, but you do see that the blue light that shines beneath its fur gleams and glows off of the nearby trees and canopies as if light reflected off of water. It's beautiful.
I think if it hasn't seen me yet, We'll just be patient and watch. Watch its movement, watch its beauty. Respect that. Well, just respect it. Respect its power.
Okay. I need to know. Okay. You have a choice here. A choice for Kaelan that I'm asking you, class. A spirit animal. What sort of creature do you think represents Kaelan's spirit? If you don't have an answer, we can roll for it. I have a table for it. But if you do have an answer, I'd like to know what it is.
On the spot. I think you would go for something that's patient, that knows patient, smart, and understanding, accepting, but also can utilize a team very well. Tactfully. He knows how to work with people. An animal that has a sense of community. And I believe wolf would be something that would be his animal.
A wolf.
Just a plain wolf.
Then in this dream, as Kaelan peers over the brush at this bear, he's suddenly aware that he's not alone. But he is also aware that those he is with, he trusts, and trust him, and the decisions that he's made. And as Kaelan looks to his left and his right, nestled behind this brush and eyeing this massive black bear, are 4 other wolves. Each of them intently watching and waiting. Perhaps for this bear to make a mistake, or to become distracted. This bear is the largest bear you've ever seen.
Mentally, he would connect with these companions, these wolven companions, and explain that if we are to lose nobody and win, take down this beast, we need to be smart, we need to be careful, we need to be precise, we need to attack at weak parts when it's at its back. I would slowly motion to surround it, sneakily, stealthily.
For Kaelan, I'd like you to roll me a wisdom plus proficiency check. A survival check. At advantage.
That is an expertise. Would you like me to use something else?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
It is at advantage.
Ah, right. Well, 17.
Roll me a d10, please.
Eight.
Okay. Through your careful guidance, you watch as your pack carefully and quietly surrounds this massive black bear. And what happens next, like many dreams, feels surreal and heady and strange, but also completely within reason, because it is a dream. Each wolf of your pack glows with red light, the same nature as the bear. And as you nestle down behind a bush to watch, you realize you too have paws, with claws that are long red talons. Glowing red lines tracing up from the paws up your legs, out of vision. With that roll, and how poorly the bear rolled, the clash is brief. Your allies, through your careful guidance, easily devastate the bear, and you and your friends will have plenty to eat for weeks. And as such, as always, your pack looks to you with respect, as your intelligence again has saved the day. You awaken hungry.
I think he would waken with a smile. Just kind of a half-cocked grin. And brush the sleep out of his eyes and head on down to breakfast.
Okay. Let's see how they did. Breakfast this morning is a hearty supply of steak, eggs, potatoes, vegetables, and fruit. And you eat your fill, gaining 8 temporary hit points.
All right.
While you are at breakfast, you are approached. How much of a morning person are you?
He's a morning person, but he's not like a social morning person.
Sure. So when Matthew sits across from you, and he's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, he says, "Good morning, Kaelan.
Oh, good morning.
You look wide awake.
I am.
You have your coffee?"
You have coffee.
Aye. Would you like some?
Sure. I'll take some.
He stands back up. Let me move the scene. He stands back up and pushes the mug of coffee that he'd gotten for himself to you, and then goes and gets himself another cup.
All right.
It only takes a moment, but as he sits back down, I was hoping to talk to you about, our team.
All right. What's on your mind?
Well, first and foremost, I couldn't help but notice that, that big, pale tiefling took a liking to you.
We've been friends since the beginning, since I came here.
Just friends?
That's what I've seen it as.
So you wouldn't be cross if I took a stab at it, so to speak?
I mean, I'm not her owner, so I.
Well,
don't
right, but see, if we're going to be working together, I don't want that awkward, I don't want there to be any hard feelings if I should take a stab at her and she approves. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't claim ownership over everybody, so if you want to be my guest.
I just wanted to make sure, there wouldn't be any hard feelings.
None for me.
Perfect. Now, of course, if she shoots me down, I'll probably pout about it for a couple days, but I'll get over it.
All right, don't let it affect our business.
Now,
They need ya.
before anything else too, what about that big beefy cleric that was with us?
Duricon?
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, what about him?
You don't have any interest there, do you?
He kind of cocks his head a little bit, like a little surprised. No, uh, he's all yours too. If you want,
I mean,
all
first
right.
choice is definitely Lilith, but I thought, I might as well keep the table open. And I'm not going to lie, there's something appealing about, a big, strong dragonborn.
Well, if that floats your boat, then so be it.
Have you noticed how many attractive people there are at this academy?
Uh, you know, for being pretty perceptive, I really haven't noticed, but I
That's
guess
surprising.
since you've said something, I'll probably notice now that you've said something.
You're not too bad looking yourself. You're just not my type. I don't want you to take that offensive.
Well, no, I don't take offense to it, but uh, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
When it comes to guys, I just prefer the sort that can toss you about.
I mean, I'm not as strong as Durkon, but I feel like I have some tone, some strength. But you know, I'm not too much into the male persuasion.
That's fair.
So, but
Not all of us could be so limited.
well, that's fair, I guess.
First up,
But
though, I'm going to see if Lilith has got any interest in my way. And, well, if not, oh well. But if so, he winks at you.
well, let's make this fun then. If you could, just say that I didn't give you permission. We'll see if who she likes better.
Oh?
Sure, I like a little competition.
Okay. Are we wagering here? Are there any stakes?
No,
I guess
no
Lilith would be the
stakes.
prize then.
Uh, you want to treat it that way? I don't think anybody should be a prize, but
Well, when you put it as a competition, look, I'm from Augur City, okay? Gambling's in the blood. You gotta have to. If you're gonna put a wager, or you're gonna put it like a competition, there's going to be a prize. Whether that prize be, a meal, or a drink, or a beautiful tiefling lady. I don't mind either way.
all right. Huh. How about this? I've been considering at the end of all this schooling that we're having that I plan to put together a team of Maryguard contractors to how do I say this? Patrol the plains, as you will.
How do you mean?
A specialized team that will work with Maryguard on other planes of existence.
Uh-huh. You've piqued my interest.
Taking only contracts that require going to the outer planes.
Okay. There's all sorts of fancy things on the other planes, from what I hear.
Aye, but I'm considering putting together the best team to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And how does
let's
this
just,
wager play in?
well,
Or are you just saying that you want to consider me as part of your team?
sure, that'll be the wager.
Okay. We'll see what Lilith has to say. Obviously, this part of it will be hush. Eh?
Well, what do you mean? What? We'll see what Lilith has to say.
If she's interested
Oh,
in you or me. It's a competition.
right. Right. Okay. That works.
And he, like, taps the table. And he says, we'll see how it goes. And he stands up and he says, enjoy your breakfast and... Well, either I'll let you know how well it went, or you won't see me and I'll be off pouting.
Fair enough.
And he kind of nods you. And then
I'll offer a hand, actually. Shake on it.
he shakes your hand. It's not the firmest shake you've ever had, but it's maybe a little squirrely.
Okay. What? I lost my notes. I was just looking at it. He gave me poison, yes?
Yeah, he gave you just a vial of 2d8 poison.
Okay. I lost it with the update.
Oh. It's a
Yeah.
vial of poison that deals 2d8 poison damage with a DC 14 Constitution saving throw to have the poisoned condition for a minute.
Yeah. Okay.
It deals the poison damage no matter what. The con save is for the poison condition.
One vial. Poison. 2d8. DC 14.
Mm-hmm. It is an injury poison.
Gotcha. Got it. Thank you. All right. I will finish my breakfast after he leaves
Okay.
and head to class for the day.
All right. As you head to the Rangers classroom, you step out into the Skywood. You find Tier is there. He has his own longbow that he is currently tending to. And Triss looks at you and she kind of narrows her eyes at you.
Morning.
Good morning.
Did I do something?
I don't know. You tell me.
I'm not late, am I?
No, you're on time. Did you have a strange dream last night, Kaelan?
How? What? How do you know that?
You've attuned to nature, and it's about fucking time.
All right, I don't know what that means, but I'm sure I'll learn what that means. It was very cool.
It means you're ready to learn magic, my friend.
Really?
That's
Is that
it
what that means? Right? Then I'm ready to learn. That's very cool.
For the first time since you've met him, Tier looks over at you, and he gives you a smile, like an approving nod. And then Triss says, Tier, you have your own shit to do. And Tier just, oh, right, I'm sorry. And he stands up and begins heading off into the woods. And Triss looks at you.
Have fun, Priscilla.
Thanks, he says as he's stepping into the forest. Triss looks at you and she says, right. And she cracks her knuckles. She stands up and she, like, begins to gesture around the forest. And she says, as a ranger, your magic comes from the world around you. It's all natural. Many try to bind this to one of the many gods. But it's not really the case. as a soul that's attuned itself to the very world of Amaranth. The magic that you can use, it goes through your soul. You ask the world around you for what you need, and then it provides if you asked nicely. And there are herbs and plants that you can use to make this easier. But for the most part, the magic comes from you. And she begins to show you around, basically. She's pointing out different herbs and plants and leaves that are in the forest. Just the sorts of things that, like, it's a plant that you would see as a weed that is completely harmless, or one that is good for making maybe an antidote to a mild itch. Those sorts of things. But when they are combined with the asking nature for magic, suddenly that plant becomes so much more potent. And you learn the means to cast spells such as animal friendship or cure wounds. The sort of plants that you can use to imbue arrows with magical effects. Or set up traps for creatures much larger than anything else you could have before. And as you're taking all this in, it's going to require a few rolls. Firstly, I need a wisdom check. Just straight wisdom.
Great wisdom.
Okay. For the first few hours of your training, you are like trying to unlearn everything you already learned about all these herbs. It is hard to wrap your mind around. As Triss shows you a leaf that you know is good for making a tea that helps you fall asleep. And then she begins to explain to you how the fibers within you can channel your soul's energy into to make a poison. And you're like looking at it in a whole new light, and you can't wrap your mind around it. And then she shows you, she actually casts a spell and looses an arrow, and you watch as that arrow suddenly, it hits a tree, and these entangling vines all around it, grabbing the tree. And she says, you could do that too. You see what I'm saying? Except for the 6, you don't.
No, I don't see what you're saying. I'm sorry, this is huge, and I'm not getting it. I apologize.
It's all right. It's a lot to take in. Let's start with something small. Okay?
All right.
I need you to find Berta root.
Okay. Do I know what Berta root is?
Roll survival.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
22.
With a 22. Berta root is very common. It's the sort of plant that's like a fern. It grows near the bases of a lot of trees, and it wouldn't take you not but 10 minutes to find some.
Okay. I'll go find some. Return with a leaf or the whole root.
I'm sure. When you come back with it, maybe 20 minutes later, she's back by the stump, and she looks at you and smiles, and she says, perfect. And before you can stop her, she pulls a long dagger from her belt and slashes her own arm.
All right.
And she holds her arm out to you, and she says, heal me with just that Berta root.
All right. He'll snap a leaf of the fern off and just press it to the wound to try and cover it.
It really does not, like, it's the wrong texture porous material. All that happens is it gets bloody. And Triss is like watching you work.
All right, come on. And he'll cast Cure Wounds.
Okay. As a second level ranger, you can do that. So, you cast Cure Wounds. Go ahead and roll it for me.
Max healing.
Would you like to describe this, or shall I?
Um, I think it would it wouldn't be anything fancy. It would just be kind of, put the cover the wound slash with the leaf, and as he channels it, it's a dull green glow that just kind of like spreads over the wound. And as he wipes the leaf and the blood away, it is perfectly healed.
You see Triss's shoulders visibly relax as the pain is gone, and she says, "Good. That's how you do
All
it."
right. Huh. Okay. I'll try to remember that feeling. It was, I'm not gonna lie, that was a little invigorating and exciting.
Mm-hmm. Now don't do it too much or you'll wear yourself the fuck out, and then you're going to be useless to anybody.
Yeah, that took a lot.
The
All
last
right.
thing you want to try to do is when you're out of energy to try again.
Is it wrong to be interested on what would happen?
You can be interested, but you'll have what Tabernac calls synaptic static, where you risk forgetting everything that happened for a couple days.
Oh, all right. I'll refrain from doing any of that. Okay. Uh, so what else can I do?
That's up to your soul. It's up to what you want to reach out for. And that's my next assignment for you. I want you to wander the Skywood for the next few hours. I want you to seek what sort of magic your soul sings toward. Obviously, you can heal, but that's the sort of thing most rangers can do. But there's more. Search for it.
All right. Very well.
Out of character, this is where Kaelan is going to choose his spells. And
Okay.
how he does so is more going to be up to you, class, than it is to me. We're going to determine the flavor of Kaelan's magic.
Okay. Man. This is tough.
Yes, it
Okay.
is.
He will go out, just kind of quietly wander. Um, okay. When I first took, obviously I'm going to take cure wounds because that's very useful. I just did it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but um, hmm. Well, this is so tough. I should have thought of that about this. Because I did take Hunter's Mark, but
Okay,
that's a little basic. Kind of want to be different. Kind of want him to be different.
okay. Take them.
Um,
Look through the list.
okay.
What feels like a spell that Kaelan would use? One that he'd
Uh,
search for. It cannot be
since he's in,
Lorna's burning blood.
I know. Um, thinking And this is just because his first interaction with a denizen of the Skywood was that fox elemental, that wind fox elemental.
Okay.
And
You're
I
thinking
think he would,
Zephyr Strike?
yeah, I think he would try to find it again and connect with it more.
Okay. Roll me survival.
Okay. Um,
A 12.
I'm gonna tack on one of my charges.
It's fair.
Hey,
13.
nope, 13. I thought it said a 4
Nope.
on the die.
It's
Well,
okay.
there it is.
On these sort of self-growth sorts of things, the TCs are not very high. But you do spend a while searching through the woods, hoping to catch a glimpse of that air elemental, the wind fox. You head into the Skywood in that same direction, making your way. And you get deeper and farther than you remember having to go. And as you're looking around, you find that the terrain of the forest has changed a little. It's getting a little bit higher. The altitude's going up. The trees are getting a bit more sparse. I'd like you to roll me perception for me.
Okay. All right, not bad.
A 19.
19.
The forest of the Skywood is beautiful, as always. Even as it gets less and less dense and you can see more and more of the sky, you can see Pyrrhus and Tyrrhus. They're high, but they're getting lower as you've been out here for a while. You find yourself for a moment looking up at them, and then, almost as if you were looking right at it, on one of the high branches of the trees, you don't see that fox elemental, but you do see what looks like a matted collection of pine cones, needles, and leaves that have been gathered together in a small, swirling vortex that is in the shape of an owl. It's settled on a branch and it's looking straight down at you. And as you look at this elemental, this owl air spirit, it lifts its wings, and it's as if suddenly just a swirl, a jet stream, carries this pine cone and small pile of needles off into the distance. And when you turn to follow it, you find yourself among a number of other elementals. Where there would be wildlife that are squirrels or raccoons and chipmunks, you find all sorts of small wind-like creatures. Gatherings of dust and fallen leaves and pine cones and what look like the small seeds of a spinner tree just grouped together in the shape of wildlife. They're all over the place up here. And as you walk past them, you find yourself looking at another fox elemental. It's up on its haunches looking at you, careful, cautious, the sort of body language you recognize as the fox is about to flee, as you've startled it.
Okay. I will try to approach carefully.
Roll me animal handling.
Okay. Yes. 21.
As you lower yourself, making yourself seem smaller, more friendly, as you approach, the fox spirit drops down onto all fours and watches you carefully.
How close is it letting me get to it?
With a 21, you get within 5 feet.
All right.
What do you do?
Hey there, little one. You got anything for me? The first person I met here. Well, first creature. I was wondering if you can lend me your speed for a race.
Roll me persuasion.
Oh, that's perception. Okay.
A 21.
Yes.
Okay. When you say that, in the calm, cool voice, the even tone that you would use to speak to a wild animal, the fox tilts its head at you. Its eyes made of smooth, black pebbles, the sorts you'd find in a riverbed. There is a motion that surprises you. In the center of its chest, where all sorts of small leaves and just grass swirl about, suddenly some of them freeze in a specific shape. Roll me religion.
Oh, this is gonna be good. Uh-huh.
You know it's a symbol. It's a circle. The needles are clearly forming themselves into a rounded circle that has a spiral within, reaching to 3 droplets that are made of what look like nutshells. The fox suddenly darts forward, swirling around your feet. And as it does, you can't help but feel some sort of affection or affectation. Some, maybe, agreement. And then the fox darts off straight away from you, and you feel lighter on your feet. As you maybe not voluntarily cast Zephyr Strike on yourself.
It darted away from me.
Yes.
All right. Give a chase.
You don't need to roll. As the spell gives you an additional 30 feet of movement, you chase after it. You feel your fingertips empowered with air magic. Winds that rise up through the sleeves of your armor. It feels uplifting. It feels energizing. You feel ready to take a shot that you know would be more effective than any other. But this is not the time to take a shot at this little fox as it darts away from you. Instead, as you chase it, you are right on its tail. And you didn't think you could be this fast.
All right. For the whole duration, he'll chase this fox, and if he can get right next to it, he'll just run with it.
Roll me an acrobatics. As the fox begins to twist and turn through some low-hanging branches and knotholes in trees.
Oh,
An 11.
No. We'll tack another one on.
A 14.
A 14. That's a little better.
Okay. This is an acrobatics contest between you and the fox. The fox rolled a 12.
Sweet.
So you do keep pace with it. When you, after about 30 seconds, are keeping up with this fox, the fox glances over at you, and you hear this wind gust-like chirp, as it is surprised that you are right next to it. Do you speak Primordial?
Not yet, but
yet.
Maybe
Okay.
I should learn.
You don't know what it means. It's clearly its body language is surprise, as you are right behind it. But you keep pace with the fox. The spell lasts a minute.
Yeah.
So after about a minute, you feel the wind leave you, the energy, the uplifting feeling of that power that this spirit seems to have granted you. You remember what it felt like when it first started, and you remember that energy, but it is gone now. And the fox darts off into the trees.
I think he'll slow himself to a halt. A little breathless, but energized. Alright. That was fun. He kind of looks around at where he is right now, seeing if he recognizes anywhere
Roll a
he's been here
survival.
before. Ah, 16.
Yeah, you have a good idea where you are. You've moved quite a distance. You realize that you have gone several miles farther than you thought you had.
Oh, all right.
Roll me perception.
Oh man.
Okay. What do you do?
Right back.
As you turn around and begin to leave,
Yep.
you hear from nearby. Well, that was fun to watch. As Tier reveals himself to be up in a tree, kind of crouched down on a high branch.
That was pretty fun. How much of it did you see?
Well, I watched you move awful quick. I admit, I did not take so kindly to the wildlife around here when I first got here. Or maybe I'm a little jealous.
It's got to be patient.
It's not my strong suit.
Thought not. But what are you out here doing? We're miles away.
Yeah, we are. He seems annoyed about it. But I heard you running through the woods like at breakneck, so I wanted to see what was happening. I've got what I came out here for.
Oh, what were you out here for?
I was assigned to find an oak heart. And he
Can I roll?
reaches
Can I
into
roll?
a bag. Yeah, you can roll survival. Actually, no, this would be Arcana.
Oh no. Okay. Ah. Can't say I know what that is.
He holds up what looks like an acorn, but the cap of it glows with golden light, and you can see it's almost like an optical illusion, as small brambles seem to wind out like light away from the core of the acorn. But as he turns it, it's clear that they're not really there. It's almost like the ghost of brambles. I'm not really sure exactly what he's for either, but our instructor wanted one and told me where to find it, so here it is.
Alright, well.
Do you know how hard it is to find an oak tree that's been blessed by a celestial?
Can't say that I have.
It's not like it's written on the front of the tree.
Oh, that would be too easy then.
Wouldn't it, though? He shakes his
Well.
head and climbs down out of the tree. I need a roll for it. Okay. He does not make a fool of himself and successfully climbs out of the tree. I admit, I don't actually know very much about you.
Other than I'm from a different island.
Yeah, I know you're from Phobos. That's obvious.
Just a little bit of rivalry. Oh,
Yeah, healthy competition is fine.
I just give you shit just because it's fun. I don't mean anything by it.
I've heard worse. Don't worry.
All right.
But who are you, really? Like, why are you here as a ranger? You have a knack for it, obviously, but, I mean, why'd you leave Grand Old Phobos? I hear it's pretty comfortable around there.
All right. It's comfortable. Um, I guess the opportunity to get out of a small town that I've been in all my life. So, um, if it's a lie,
Yeah, you need to roll
uh,
deception.
okay. Oh boy.
I don't think I even need to roll, but he might roll one. No, he did not. Okay. Alright. I mean, you don't have to tell me if you don't want to. It's fine.
I'd rather not. Um, but we can, how they say, shoot the shit on our way back.
Alright, that's what they say. They don't talk about it like it's a strange delicacy from somewhere else.
All right.
You're
But
so bloody weird. I can't get my finger on you.
I feel the same way about you. So,
Bullshit. I'm as normal as they come.
well then, I've actually never been to Priscillus.
Is that the
What's,
truth?
yeah.
Okay. Tier kind of looks at you with a raised eyebrow and he says, really? Well, you're not missing much. This
I
big
mean,
ass city
I've
full of rich people.
I've worked on some furniture pieces that went to Priscillus, but never actually went. So,
Here's a question for you, one that I've been dying to know.
I
Why is Tress giving you completely different tasks than she's given me?
I think that's a question for her.
Well, right, I've tried to ask her and she told me to mind my own fucking business, but see, if I ask you, maybe you might have a clue.
Or it might be the certain paths we're taking. Um,
Hmm.
I've taken an interest to the other planes of existence, and maybe
What? Wait, what you mean?
the other planes of existence. There's other uh
You're
there's
like, he's not trained in Arcana. He
right.
doesn't know what the fuck you're talking about.
So right, we live on the material plane, as I've come to learn.
I've heard that word before, right? Okay.
Right. So um this particular wood is fairly close to the elemental plane of air. And so that's why there's so many air elemental creatures.
Alright. I'm hanging on, but by a thread.
Well, if there's a plane of air, like an entirely different world,
Right, so
there's
there'd be
got
one of rock and of what else? Poison?
uh no, the major four, uh air, water, earth, and fire.
Alright. Okay, I'm with you so far. I get it.
All right. Um learned that there is a big influence in Arbara of Feywild. Um, you've probably run
I've
into
heard
some fey creatures.
I've heard Fae before. I didn't know there was. Is it like a. Okay. I think this might be a bit beyond me, and I think we might be wasting some time trying to explain this to me. Um,
Well, the one I was really did a lot of research on lately is the Beastlands.
well, okay, what's that?
It's a completely different world where the beasts are many times larger than the ones here.
It sounds terrifying. Okay.
Uh, well, it's hard to explain this. But these other worlds, they have other beings living there, just like you and me.
So,
So,
okay, wait a minute. All right. So, I have to, at one point, find a creature. So, Triss talked to me a little bit about this. If I find an animal with which my soul resounds with, they can
aye.
become my, like, not ally is the wrong word, like partner. You
Like
know.
a companion.
Aye, yeah, that's the right word.
Ah,
So,
all right.
if we go to the baselands, we could find a giant fuck off like wolf or bear or something,
Right, yeah.
and then I could have the biggest companion anyone's ever had.
I possibly.
Okay, so
Um,
if you're going to the baselands, wherever that is,
mhm.
you let me know, so I can tag along maybe.
All right.
I
I'll
appreciate
keep you
that.
in mind.
I appreciate that greatly.
I don't feel like I'm gonna go to it anytime soon, but
How do you mean?
just
Like
because
maybe a couple months, or maybe?
I don't know, maybe a year.
Hey, all
I,
right.
I just it sounds it's. I mean, it's pretty wild. It's fairly dangerous. I don't feel like getting eaten alive.
So, wait, okay. How far is this place? So, like, is it a boat ride away, or is it the sort of thing that we could
Well,
ride horses to?
I don't know how far our bar is, but uh,
I could tell you that. That's a few hundred miles. 800?
well, supposedly there's like the weave or the plain walls are a little less thick. So
Oh,
it's
you're
you
losing
could
me again.
maybe I need to study a little bit more so I
Okay.
can
Yeah, oh,
be more knowledgeable.
you do that, and when you have more answers, then we can talk about it, eh?
All right. That sounds fair.
I'm going to look for food on our way back. I haven't eaten since we left.
All right. I'll help.
Okay, so he's going to roll survival, and you're going to aid him.
Yep.
He rolled, and that's the first roll. 26. Together, you get a nice clutch of very chunky pheasants.
All right.
It's a brief matter of time as Tier, with a very seasoned hand, breaks them down, and in like over 20 minutes has a campfire set up and is already roasting them. Another 15 minutes pass, and the two of you have a nice, maybe a little late, lunch.
Wait. I I have some spices for it. Hold on.
It's never
I'll
too
just
late.
I'll just have a little bit of like he has like a little pouch of like homemade spice that his mom gave him.
Okay.
Uh
Well,
and
you
he'll
decide what
season
they
it a
are.
little bit.
Or does it make it spicy?
Um
To make it savory?
it's it makes it there's like a little twinge of spice, but it's more just brings out the flavor of the meat.
Okay. Is this the sort of thing that another Tredonian would recognize?
Uh yeah, but with a little bit of Phobos
Okay.
spin on it.
Let me roll.
Like a little it's a little different.
Let me roll a history here. Okay.
Like Rowena uh like put her own like mix into it.
Sure. Okay. Almost like a Creole mix sort of thing.
Kind of, yeah.
As you add the spices in, Tier says, "All right, okay, I see what you got going on there. That's a new smell." Uh, and then when he eats it, he says, "All right, okay, you're all right by me, Kaelan."
Well, I mean, I think my mom would be a little disappointed if I didn't use it.
Next time you talk to her, tell her I said thanks, because that was fucking delicious.
I will.
Now, I will roll for his cooking at advantage, because you helped.
Sweet.
Another survival. 24.
All right.
Okay. So it doesn't... Okay, so you don't get more tempage points than what you got from breakfast, but you do gain 7, so he feels very topped up.
Okay.
But the 8 you got from breakfast is a little better.
Okay,
you haven't
gotcha.
taken any damage, so you don't replace them.
Okay, gotcha.
But after spending an afternoon with Tier, and you make your way back toward the door, Triss is waiting by the same half-bent tree stump as you approach. The two of you look like you had success.
Yeah. It was good.
So what did you learn?
Learned how to run like the wind.
Interesting. How do you feel about it?
Pretty good.
And you, Tyr, did you have any luck? And Tyr steps up and holds out the acorn. Triss grabs it from his hands and says, "Nice. That's exactly what I needed. I'll have something for the two of you when you get back tomorrow."
All right. Oh, what time is it?
She glances up at the suns and she says, "That's about 4. You're dismissed."
Guess, we just kind of ate, didn't we?
Tyr nods. It was pretty good, too.
Ice cream?
On you? Absolutely.
All right, I'll pay for it. It's fine. And I'll head on out.
Okay. As you leave the Ranger's classroom, head toward the front of the academy.
Oh, hello, Matthew.
He's not there. Hold on a second here. Tier is with you. And while you are making your way out, I need you to roll me a D100.
Okay. D2.
Okay. Roll me a D4.
2.
Odds or evens, class?
Evens.
As you are heading, like, through the main lobby, you do catch sight of Matthew on his way into the mess hall. And he makes brief eye contact with you, and he just goes, like a wink with an A-OK sign.
Okay. All right.
You can intuit what you like from that, or you can roll an insight check.
I'll insight.
Okay. 22. there is a cockiness to the wink that tells you that maybe Lilith did agree to go on a date with Matthew.
All right. Got interesting.
Tier behind you says, "What did?"
Oh, nothing. Just a little bet with Matthew. I won't get into details, but
Well, that's a shame.
Ice
Now I
cream.
want to know. All right, either way. He doesn't press it as you leave the Merry-Guard. And
Okay.
as you head out into the Ferrum proper, leading down the street, you know the way to the ice cream vendor, which is the Dragonborn behind the vendor's cart with frozen bowls. One moment here, as my music has dropped itself on its own head. Okay. Now, it is close enough to the vendor that you don't need to roll for a random encounter. And as you arrive at the vendor, the Dragonborn looks to you. You recognize the same oddly papier-mâché mask behind the cloak. And behind you... Yeah. Behind you, Tier says, "Is this guy kidding?" And then the Dragonborn says, "Good evening! How can I help you two?"
Right. What do you got for flavors today?
Today we have vanilla, clava, honey lemon, and chocolate.
I'll take a honey lemon.
Next to you, Tier says, "I'd like a clava." And the Dragonborn looks between the two of you and says, "Right, would you want disposable bowls or the stone ones? I do need them back."
Disposable.
Perfect. And he, begins to scoop up two, basically, vellum bowls that he fills with ice cream. And he says, "That'll be 1 silver."
All right.
Do you
I'll
pay
pay
for
the man. Yeah.
Tier lightly, thumps you on the back as you do. And you hear him say, "Good man." As you are handed a bowl of honey lemon frozen cream. And Tier is handed a bowl of clava frozen cream.
Where is it right now? Like right here?
Yeah, it's right at the corner, right next to the park.
Okay. I think I'll start walking over to the park. Just kind of, are there benches or?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It is a sizable park, and it does look out over many campfires and cook fires that adventurers have set up. Tier sits next to you, kind of relaxing, as he does. Long day,
So, yeah, but fun. You asked me why I came here.
I did.
I'm gonna ask you the same question.
You want the truth?
Or you don't have to. Just whatever reason you think you need to be here.
I have a... Roll me a persuasion.
All right.
Advantage, because you bought him ice cream.
All right. I'll take it. Oh, yeah, nice. Okay.
A 17. Okay. Tier seems to consider it for a long moment. Oh, who doesn't need a reason to run away from friends and come to a strange place across the ocean with promises of wealth and heroism? I mean, I could tell you any sort of lie, I guess, and you'd take it at face value. The short answer is, as I'm sure it is with many other people around here, I'm running from something.
right. So, well, I'm not gonna ask what you're running from, but do you feel safe here?
You know, at first I didn't. At first I thought I was just wasting my time. At first I thought I'd wasted 100 gold that I didn't have to spend. But, the more I see, the more missions I go on, the more I learn from Trace, the more at ease I feel. Maybe it's just a part of the illusion, but I realize that not everybody can get in here. And the people they do accept, they seem to care about.
I learned that very quickly. Kind of very grateful for that. Very grateful that this place exists.
Me as well.
And that they're trying to make the world a better place.
Oh, I hope you're right about that. I mean, I'm really mostly concerned about my world. But if they happen to also have a good effect on everyone else, then more power to him. I'm not gonna pretend to be altruistic. You know, I came here purely looking after my own hide.
Oh. Glad you're here.
You don't really know me, are you sure?
Huh. Yeah, I'm sure.
Alright. Well, I'm
Gives
glad
me,
you're here too, Kaelan. I think. Unless you have a hit out on me, in which case I'm really not glad you're here.
No, I don't have a hit on you. But I think the fact that you're here, that we come from close backgrounds, kind of gives me something to compete with.
Yeah, the sort needs competition, eh?
Good, healthy competition. When I first walked into the room and I saw you there and found out that you were from the same, well, relatively the same area. Yeah. And I got a little bit jealous.
Jealous?
I had someone so close gotten here before me.
Well, I mean, someone has to be the best.
Maybe we'll find that out in due time. But now I'm pretty happy with just, I guess, trying to one-up each other. And like I said, don't take it personal. If I win, I won't take it personal if you do.
I won't take it personal, I'll just be very angry and very butthurt about it until I get it proved right, you know, the second time.
All right. So, try to make each other better.
That sounds like a good plan.
All right, then. I'll extend a hand to shake on it.
He shakes your hand. It's rare to see someone around here that doesn't try to hide behind a, well, curtain of deceit, I guess. You seem very straightforward. That's a
No
relief.
sense in. I just see no sense in being deceptive about who you are. You are who you are. So, own up to it.
I had a captain who said something like that once.
Really?
Something like that. Maybe it was actually, own
Would
up
I
to
know him?
your mistakes. Maybe. Maybe not.
Did he ever come through Phobos?
Roll me an insight check as he is like thinking about it. 22. Tierra looks like someone who's afraid to say the truth. Like, yeah, you might know him, but it's not good. You
All right.
maybe not in the best of ways, I guess. Let's just say that my captains have not been above the law. We'll say that.
I see. So you're you've seen the other side of Trident. There's two sides to every coin, right? There's the good side, or straight edge side, which I come from, and you possibly have seen the other side of that coin.
I'm not going to say yes and no to that question. And he folds his arms.
Uh-huh.
I'll let you
Fair
assume
enough.
whatever it is that you like.
All right. Well then, I probably don't know him.
Not by good nature, anyway.
I will ask though. Ever come across a piece of furniture with this symbol on it? And he'll just kind of quickly pull out a wooden piece with the Minazaki family symbol.
Let me roll a history. Roll an insight check.
Okay. I'm just gonna use my last D4 here.
Okay. 17
Hey.
and... Okay, so a 19? No.
No, I rolled it with it. So
Oh, you
is
rolled
a
it with it.
17.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me roll. You catch a definite wince. And he just says, maybe, maybe not. It's a bit foggy up there. I've seen many things in my time. And he just
It's all right.
eats another piece of ice cream.
It hasn't hurt. It really hasn't hurt our family too much. But did you at least like the piece?
As he swallows the gulp of ice cream, he says, it was a very nice example of woodworking every time I seen it.
All right. Good.
Look, you can't choose who it is and what they're carrying, all right? It's the name of the job.
I get it. Well. All right then. I'll just let it slide
Oh,
this
I
time.
hope you do, please. Just let it go. I hope we never talk about this again. It was a
All right.
previous life.
Hey, I'm not judging you by who you are now, or I'm not judging you by who you were then. I'm judging you by who you are now. So.
And I'm your competition.
Sure. Yes.
I was about to say there was awful belittling for a fair competition. All right. I was almost offended.
Well then.
I wanted to ask, because I'm curious. Everyone's always curious. When I had my dream, I was a crow.
A crow?
Aye.
Amongst the flock, or just by yourself?
I was on my own. What about you?
Wolf.
Man, I
For the
wish
pack.
mine was that fucking badass. I was a fucking bird and you got a wolf?
Oh,
He looks
Holy shoes.
visibly, like, annoyed.
well then. I'm sorry.
But you should be.
Not really, but
It's fine. He says, clearly irritated. He says, look, thank you for the ice cream.
of course.
Fucking wolf. He just kind of, like, is muttering to himself.
Let's walk back. Yeah.
Yeah, I need a fucking bath.
All right. I'm gonna take another pit stop by the ice cream truck
All right.
or cart.
Then I'll see you tomorrow, eh?
But I'll see you tomorrow. Yes.
He kind of gives you a doff salute, and then heads to the Merigard.
I'm gonna go back to the ice cream cart and get
Welcome back.
one of each flavor, 4 of them.
Oh. All right, that'll be 2 silver, unless you want them in stone bowls. Again, I need those back if you take them.
I'm gonna break one of my gold and say that I have 10 silver.
2 silver.
Yeah. I'm
They're
just
5
breaking
copper
gold.
a bowl.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
You are given 1 of each flavor. You have a vanilla, a clava, a honey lemon, and a chocolate.
Okay. And then I'll take the portable one. I won't take the stone bowl.
Yeah.
But I'll head on back to the academy and try to find my team.
Okay. At this time, it's 5 o'clock. They'd all be out of training, actually. So, it's a quick stop to the mess hall, and all of them, along with almost everybody else, are... The mess hall is loud, as everyone is here getting dinner. Hold on a minute. Yeah. And your team seem to get along for the most part, as they are all kind of surrounding each other at one of the tables, one of the round tables in the corner. You see Duracon, you see Sean, you see Lilith, and of course, next to Lilith, you see Matthew. Roll me an insight check.
Okay. Damn it! I used all my fit.
You sure did.
That's pretty
20.
good though.
Lilith looks... Well, the first thing, they've all been training all day. So with the exception of Matthew, everyone looks tired. But as Matthew is next to Lilith and talking animatedly, Lilith is clearly has, like, her head, like, 2 fingers on her temple, and is concentrating on the food in front of her, which it looks like is some sort of pasta dinner. And you see that occasionally she looks up at Matthew and replies, and then is back to looking tired and spent as she's looking down at her food.
Okay. I read the body language.
Yeah.
I will slip over to the other side of her, on the other, like, away from Matthew.
Are you trying to be sneaky about it?
Kind of, but just more of just kind of swoop the 4 ice cream in to give her the first pick.
Okay. So if you're not being sneaky about it, the first thing that happens is, as soon as you are within sight, Duracon says, Vion greets you, Kaelan.
Yep. And I'll just kind of like quickly just whoop.
What flavor do you drop in front of Lilith?
Anyone she wants.
She looks over at you with all the ice cream, and she says, Hey. Oh, shit.
Ladies first.
Give me that fucking honey lemon.
That's the one I had earlier, too.
It's the best. Holy shit.
It
And
is.
she tiredly, like, hooks a finger into the edge of the paper bowl and pulls it to her.
Uh-huh.
And
Well,
Sean says, "What about me? Maybe I wanted honey lemon." It's fine. It's fine. I'm happy with any of the other ones. Just everyone else go ahead and grab one.
I'll just kind of put it in the rest of them in the center table.
Okay.
All right, have at it.
Uh, the quickest of the bunch, Matthew, darts forward and snaps up the clava flavored bowl.
Oh no!
And,
All right.
And looking at the two remaining between vanilla and chocolate, Durakan says, "I am all right with vanilla. Thank you, Kaelan." And he will hook that one and pull it over. And Sean says, "Chocolate? That's what I would have grabbed anyway. Thank you."
Would it have been?
Roll an insight check. Probably not. He doesn't look too pleased, but it's ice. It's frozen cream. So,
All right. I'll admit I didn't know which ones to get, so I just got one of each. What would you like if I were to do this again?
Durakan says, "Vanilla." And Sean says, I'm a fan of honey lemon myself. But
All right.
I wouldn't. He like glances over at Lilith, and he's like, "I wouldn't try to take it from her because I don't wish to die." And Matthew says, "I like Clava a lot, actually, so this works for me."
All right then. I'll try to remember that. So, long days?
Next to you, Lilith says, "You have no fucking idea." And Matthew says, "My day's been splendid." And Sean immediately goes into a rant.
Oh,
An
boy.
unending rant about a new contraption. What sounds like to us in the real world is maybe a piston, like a pneumatic piston that apparently Widget has shown him how to make. And for the next 10 minutes, that's what Sean's talking about. And finally, after the end of that, Durakan says, "Vion granted me with a vision.
All right.
Or maybe I was daydreaming, but one can assume."
What was it about?
I don't remember.
All right. Well then.
Maybe it was a daydream. It looks like his long dragonborn snout is like looking down at the ice cream, and he says, "I'm a terrible follower of Vion if it was a vision. You'd think one of those would have stuck with you, but of course, I would forget it. Apologies,
I do have
Vion." And he's like holding the holy symbol. And he does, like, you're trying to talk, and he's just, it's like he's talking to himself. He's not even talking to anybody else at the table, and everyone's just kind of looking at him like, okay.
Well, if it's any consolation, you won't be our only healer in the group. I learned a little bit of healing today.
Did you?
Just a tiny bit.
Thank fuck for that. I can't listen to a sermon about Vion every time I get slashed up. Of course you can! There's like a whole argument suddenly striking up about the benefits, benevolence of Vion, and Lilith just looks at you and says, "Thanks."
I'll just look back and I'll be like, I'll give her the look like, you're the one who recommended this guy.
She looks at you back like, and she just and it turns into a glare. Next to you, Sean then says, "I also have picked up some healing tricks. Nothing quite as effective as what you two are likely capable of, but I can give someone a patch up, maybe, if I don't fuck it up. Unless you have it covered, in which case I'd probably dedicate my tricks to something else."
No, I kind of limited. Probably once per day, maybe twice.
Okay.
Depending.
I could do it a few times, maybe. Depends on how much I pack. He sees like starting to do math and keep like counting his pockets and how much he could keep on him. And Matthew next to Lilith says, "I think as a team, however much healing we happen to bring, I don't think you'd ever really have too much. Especially if you find ourselves fighting something big. Something that, we can't get out of the way of.
Right.
I
Well,
happened to see something today while I was investigating, and I saw some of the creatures that they were preparing for the fall festival.
oh,
Yeah. I don't know what they're called, but I could describe it to you. And
give it a whirl. I might know.
Okay. Massive. Red, like as if a crab or a lobster stood on its hind legs and was the size of a giant, with huge claws.
Okay. Gonna try in my best to figure out what that is by that description.
Okay. Roll me a nature check.
Okay. Hey!
You know exactly what it is. It is an Umber Hulk.
Alright. Those are tough.
What is it?
It's called an Umber Hulk. And, they're hard to hit. And have... Well, those claws don't get in the way of them. Yeah. Maybe...
If we're fighting those, maybe we should try... Maybe we could ask Persh to put us up against one to see how we do. And
That's a good idea.
we'd have to really sell that we didn't know that's what's in the fall festival, because... Look, maybe I should do that. I'm the one good at talking to people, right?
Aye. Alright.
He winks
Not
at
the
you.
best at talking.
You do fine.
Well,
Did you see I was lying right there? None of you knew.
I was actually... Whatever. I was actually thinking that tomorrow afternoon, we try to go up against another team.
Oh? And this, like, every other member of your team looks up. And Lilith says, Abso-fucking-lutely.
Figured you might be in for that. I think, it's time we check out the competition.
I am so on board.
All right.
And then, resounding over everyone, Durakan says, Vion will show us the ways of war, and they will learn them from us.
Whatever that means, I'm here for it.
We'll do fine, he says with a wide, toothy grin. And Sean says, I think that means that we're blessed, or Vion, or you'll cast bless? That's a spell, right? And Durakan, looking a little bit like the wind has gone out of his sails, says, yeah, it's a spell.
Well, we are at back, and he's gonna get a small pasta plate because he had a late lunch.
Mm-hmm.
But
gonna
then
hurt
I'll come
himself.
back with it. Yeah.
It is very, very thick noodles in a rich, creamy tomato sauce with what looks like bits of sausage and mushroom mixed within. It smells spicy, and it looks delicious.
Wonderful.
You imagine a full meal of this would probably have given you a bunch more temp HP, mechanically.
Oh.
But a good idea not to hurt yourself, yeah.
No. Don't want to overeat.
But yeah, it is tasty.
All right. What day of the week is it? Like middle of the week?
It is
probably
Wednesday. It's the middle of the week.
Wednesday. Yeah. Okay. All right. So tomorrow afternoon we'll fight another team. I suppose I should go tell Persh that I plan on doing this.
Yeah, you want to make sure he has someone for us to fight.
Aye. All right. Well. if you're all done here, let's go get a drink.
Now you're speaking my language. And Loeth, like, empty plates she shoves forward and she stands up.
Matthew's buying. Anyway, and I'll just like,
Loeth actually does let out a just a full-on guffaw at that, and Matthew says, "Fucking, all right."
He'll quickly just eat whatever he has on his plate, then go to Persh.
Okay. You head out to the front, to the lobby where Persh is. You see, finally, you've caught Persh in the middle of a meal. He has his own bowl of pasta that he is eating patiently, and he has a wide book that does not look like an official ledger or anything open on the pedestal in front of him. Is there a reason you're interrupting my dinner? Before you can even say anything, he looks at you.
Just real quick, I wanted to submit my interest in fighting another fall festival team tomorrow afternoon.
All right. I believe Sabratha's team's open. How do you feel about that?
Any team.
Any team.
We're ready.
All right. A team of 5. Your bout, based on my ledger, will be at 5 o'clock.
All right. I'll
Be
tell
here.
my team. 15 minutes early?
Just be here at 5.
Gotcha. Sorry for interrupting.
It's fine.
And he'll go meet the rest of his team at the Merry Guard.
Okay. As you go and plan to spend the rest of your evening having a good time, drinking, talking, that is where we will stop tonight's session.
Awesome.
I hope you had a good time as we dove a little bit into the Ranger magic
That was cool.
and signing up for a bout against another team. We will see how it goes.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
I'm not going to pull any punches, class.
That's fine. It's in the training room.
It's in the training room. All right. And to all who are watching, we love you. Thank you, and I can't wait to see you again next week.